All right, Salakia, man. Crazy weather. We still gonna get it done through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, so we're gonna jump back to Matthew 10 and 36.
This is Matthew 10 and verse 36. And a man's foes shall be thy of his own household. Number 37.
Nuh-uh. Shall be they of his own household. That's how his foes. And you go to foe, it's like hated, odious, hateful, hostile, used of men as an enmity with the Most High by their sin.
Yeah.
Okay? So a certain enemy, the hostile one, says the devil, who is the most bitter enemy of the divine government. And we know that's Yahweh Shai. Okay, so what it's basically telling you is Satan will be given the power over your family members. And he's basically, Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to actually let him use them to try you. Look at Job. You know what I'm saying? Look at numerous men in the scriptures. Okay? So you have to know that's going to be possibly your number one enemy is people in your own household. Okay? But we know these things. Okay? We're not ignorant to Satan's devices. We know how he moves. We know that they're the weaker vessels. We know that they're going to be put here to have some of us basically go off. Okay? That's their purpose. They're pawns also. Okay? So we shouldn't fall victim to these things because we have the upper hand and we know that's why they're around. This whole game and everything changes in this truth when you come in the truth. Okay? Before, it's nothing you wouldn't have done for your family. Now, you know that you're not going to fall off with Yahweh Shem Yahshai for your family. Okay? You still have the same values with your family, but you have to know you can't love them more than you love the truth. All right? You don't win like that. Reason thing?
I was going to add, it's a precept. I believe it's in Matthew 2 to tell you that your family is going to be the ones to betray you.
Right.
You see? And that's why the Lord told you that what? Who is my mother? Who's my brother?
Right.
The ones that do my father's will.
That's right. Let me get Hebrews 12 and 9. And Job 1 and I'm going to start at 6 after we get to Hebrews. Uncle Show. Right.
In Hebrews chapter 12, verse 9, it says, furthermore, we have led our fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not?
Start that over?
All right, it says, furthermore, we have had our fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much more rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live?
So we basically we have fathers of the flesh which corrected us. Okay? So we have to understand that these men were basically used by Yahweh Shem Yahshua also. So now when we have a direct message from Yahweh Shem Yahshua, which is the Father of spirits, and we know this, it says, how much more shall we be in subjection? Okay? To the Father of spirits and live, because we know that Satan is going to use those spirits to be put on family, jobs, things of that nature that we hold to the point where it is value in it. We know this. Okay, so we shouldn't fall to it. You go ahead, Job.
This is Job 1 and verse 6. Alright, say, now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them.
Right.
Verse 7. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
Now, go ahead. I'm gonna stop.
All right, verse 8. It say, and the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect man and an upright man, one that feared the Most High and eschewed evil. Verse 9, then Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear the Most High for naught? Verse 10, had not thou made an hedge about him,
right,
and about his house,
right,
and about all that he had on every side? Thou hast blessed the works of his hands,
right,
and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thy hand now and touch all that he had, and he will curse thee to thy face.
No, go ahead. I don't run here right here.
And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he had is in thy power. It say, only upon himself, put forth not. It say, put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth.
Hold on. Right there. Notice, everything we read took place in heaven. Now we're playing this out in our minds. It's a spiritual setting. Okay? It's a spiritual setting. Notice, go ahead, read the last sentence.
It say, that's a lot.
6 and 12. I mean, 1 and 12.
Oh yeah, 1 and 12. All right. It say, so Satan went forth. No. It say,
yeah.
All right. It say, so Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord.
So he left the spiritual realm. You know why? He had a job to do. So now when you look at Job, when he was complaining and he was going forth of like, I don't want to live no more and things of that nature, he couldn't see Satan when Satan was attacking him.
Right, because he was using those pawns.
He was using those pawns. Okay? So we have to understand, when we look in the spiritual, we know we're not going to see it physically. Job couldn't see it physically. All he knew was that everything around him was just falling. But it was set up in the spiritual. The same way it is now when we basically do what? We go on our everyday life and things happen to us. What happens? Satan has basically took one of his minions and sent forth over someone in our family. You know what I'm saying? And by that happening, guess what? You'll be like, damn, what did I do? You'll automatically start checking to see if I went off on anything. Because we know spiritually why these things are happening. So we shouldn't allow these things to have us fall out of the truth. Not saying you're gonna walk the walk to where it's like, well, it's perfect. I know that it's not gonna be perfect, bro. You know what I'm saying? But we know. And we know we can't give up because it's just a spirit that the Lord allows Satan to put on the pawns to sharpen us up as kings. Okay? I got freeze one.
I got it. You got one there?
Yeah, I got a quick one. Back on the point. This is Job 23:9. It says, on the left hand where he doth work, but I cannot behold him. He hideth himself on the right hand, that I cannot see him. But he knoweth the way that I take. When he had tried me, I shall come forth as gold.
Man.
See, so those pawns are just set forth for our benefit, man, so that we can come out. That's the way of iron sharpening iron, man. That's the way that the Lord is using those vessels on the left hand side by way of them being of our family, or no matter what it may be, you know, just for our betterment, man. So we can come out as that gold.
I got one. It's Ephesians 6 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 6 and 16. It say, but above all, taking the shield of faith. All right, we spoke about earlier. We're putting on the whole armor of Yahweh Shemel Shah. It say, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. You see, because what it say to everything like the wicked. We know everything around us is wickedness. Everyone in this earth is of the wicked. All right, and they have darts. They have fiery darts, and they're throwing these darts at us, man. All right. And it's all to try. So those darts, when you go into the darts, you see that it's what? It's everything around us, basically to try and knock us off our game. So by us knowing these things, we must always have our head on a swivel. You know, paying attention to the things round about us. All right, and never stumble, because what 1 Thessalonians it say that what for ye know that yourselves are appointed unto all these things, so that ye shall not be moved. That was it.
Okay. Let me get Sirach. Chapter 2, verse 4 and 5, Proverbs 31 and 3.
This is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 4.
31:3.
It says, verse 4, for whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
So, take it cheerfully. You know why? Because you know at the end of the day, the Lord is dealing with you. Yeah. And then on top of knowing he's dealing with you, you know that you're put in a situation to where he gets all the glory at the end of it. And then you come out in a better position. You come out stronger. Okay? Now your faith has been tried. You actually, what you're gaining is you're gaining patience. You're gaining faith. Now you have that I know I can accomplish through Yahweh Shem Yahushua in your mind now. So it's like I've came out actually better. When you go through the trial or whatever, let's be honest, it's things that actually hurts. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you're wearing these fleshly vessels. So we understand that these things can bring forth pain. It can really make you grievous. You know what I'm saying? That they're grievous to you. Okay? But the thing is, when you hold on, when you know in the spirit that the Lord is just like testing you, letting Satan test you, and basically you're going to come out in a better position, that's how you look at it. You don't look at it in a carnal mind state. Go ahead.
It says, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
Now, be patient. Patience is endurance. Okay? Endurance hardens you. Okay? Now it says to a lower state. And a state is where you live. You're going to live in that place until the Lord says, I got everything I needed out of that situation from him. Now he's going to be stronger. He knows now by counting on me, he can make it. Okay? Because some of the situations that you're going to be put in, it's not going to look too promising. You know what I'm saying? But do you just throw the towel in? Or do you continue to walk and trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua that he's going to get you out of that situation and that you're going to come out better? Because all these things are basically leading to a kingly mind frame. And that's what this is all about. Being, thinking like a king, okay? Not like a peasant, all right? Those things are going to make you hard. Like if you can't rule your own house, your own spirit, how can you rule a kingdom? Okay, go ahead.
It says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
That's how gold is tried. Because when you put that gold, and I think it was 1900 degrees to where it starts melting, everything that can't handle that heat, guess what happens? It leaves, it burns, it disintegrates. Now that pure gold is the only thing that remains. Okay? So if you're as a whole of a person, when that hot fire gets to hitting, guess what's going to happen? You're going to fold. You're not going to stand firm. You're not going to be willing to say, I'm trusting in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And this is when you have fallouts, people getting kicked out, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Because they couldn't handle the pressure. Y'all please?
Yeah, I have one. This is Isaiah 26 and verse 3. It say, thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in thee. Right. You see, so what? When you're in your hard time, all right, when you need to endure and have that patience, because what the scriptures tell you in Luke 21, I believe it say what, in your patience possess ye your souls, man. All right, so when you keep your mind stayed on the Lord, like Job did, you see the Lord, what, he'll keep you in perfect peace, because you know and believe that what, you're coming out of it. Another piece of what, Sirach 33, I believe, it say that what, that's where you at.
It's Sirach 33:1. It says, there shall no evil happen unto him that fears the Lord, but in temptation, even again he will deliver him. See? So, and that's when it matters the most, man, because you can go about your everyday life without going through nothing and say you trust in the Lord, but once that tribulation and that temptation come about, you know, the Lord let those angels loose to basically try you. You know, that's when it matters the most, man. And if you really trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he's going to let it be known and make it manifest that he's going to deliver you up out of that situation.
The Proverbs?
Yeah, Proverbs 31.
3.
This is Proverbs 31 and verse 3. All right. It says, give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroy kings.
Now, This is the number one pawn on the planet is women. Okay? We've seen great men, and we're gonna go into it. One of y'all brothers, let me get Judges 16, start at 15, and 1 Kings 11 and 1. But that's the number one thing. So we're gonna go to a couple examples. Right here, we're gonna go to Samson.
This is Judges chapter 16 and verse 15. It says, and she said unto him, how canst thou say I love thee? How canst thou say I love thee when thine heart is not with me?
So this is women. How can you say you love me, and when it's time to take the family out to the park and do things, you're out making videos? How can you say you love me now? Okay, go ahead.
And that love right there is that great example of that emotional attachment.
Right.
It says, I love thee when thy heart is not with me. Thou hast mocked me these 3 times.
Now, so the woman is gonna do what? Play the guilt trip. Now we're gonna play the role of guilt. Like, man, I thought you really said you loved me, bro. Listen, these women were set up to do these type of things, bro. That's why it says give honor to them as the weaker vessel. They're weak. Satan knows how to use them. Go ahead.
It says, and has not told me wherein thy great strength lied. And it came to pass when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death.
Now, she pressed him. She threw that pussy on him. She. I'm telling you, bro. She got to doing what she do, and those things, even when you know, like things with women, and like when you lay with a woman, bro, and you finish doing your business or whatever, everything that's released from you, guess what that takes away? Testosterone. And when that testosterone is gone, that's why they tell boxers, don't lay with no woman before you fight, because you become weaker. Okay? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, look at when they send them off to army.
Right.
You know, they don't have them around women. They like, nah, look, we're not having it.
Right.
And they even give the women a pill that stop them from getting like wet and shit, like moist and shit. So they be like masculine as hell.
But that's the thing. By her doing that, she seduced them. She rubbing all on them, telling them I love you and things of that nature. She became the number one pawn in his life at that time, bro. And let's watch what it's going to cost him. Go ahead.
Through her we all die. It says that it's verse 17 that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, there had not come a razor upon mine head, for I have been a Nazarite unto Yahweh Shemel Shai from my mother's womb.
Right.
If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. So
the moral of the story is, now we know what happens. He had his last little moment of strength. He prayed to Yahweh Shemel Shai after they poked his eyes out, and he pushed the 2 pillars or whatever, and it fell and collapsed and killed everyone. All because that weaker vessel. That woman is the number one pawn on the planet, bro. Women will have you fucked up. Period. Okay? That's if you're not moving in the spirit. Okay? You can love your wife, you can love it and all that, bro, but when it comes to the point to where you start jeopardizing Yahweh Shemel Shai for her, nah, that's not how it's supposed to happen, bro. Okay? Yeah, precept?
I have.
There's First Esdras chapter 4 and verse 14. O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or who had lordship over them? Are they women? Women have borne the king and the people that bear rule by the sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards, from whence the wine cometh. These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be. Yea, and if men had gathered together gold and silver, or any other godly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty? And letting all these things go, do they not gape and even with open mouth fix their eyes to fast on her. And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver and gold and any other godly thing whatsoever?
Salaki, bro. All that's telling you is when niggas get these jobs, right, when niggas get all this money,
chains,
cars, jewelry, guess what that's for? Bitches.
Yeah.
All that's for is for women.
Right.
Okay? It's for women, bro. Everybody wants that that fame that brings forth women. You know? Salaki, I go ahead.
And the scripture tell you that a man's woman is his glory. You know? This is verse 20. It says, a man leaving his own father that brought him up, and his own country. Jake leave his own country and cleave it unto his wife. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remember neither father nor mother nor country. By this also you must know that women have dominion over you. Do ye not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman? Yeah, we'll be going on and on with this, you know. But it goes into show you, man, everything that Jake do is for the woman, you know. And that's not supposed to be the reason why you divert from the law, statutes, and commandments, and the way you govern yourself towards Yahweh Shemel Shah.
Right. You're supposed to love your woman and your family.
Yeah.
Okay, but when it started getting to the point to where that caused you to be in a lack of thereof and doing the things you're supposed to be doing, then it's not beneficial for you. You know what I'm saying? The thing you do is you go harder then. You know what I'm saying? Now you go harder. Don't let it divert you and have it to where you're moving backwards. Go harder. Okay, you had a pre-Nasi?
Yeah, hey, and if I could add, like, to that point, that's like the precept that tell you that be subject to the higher powers thereof. You see, but like we be subject to these things until it tries to force us to go against our power.
Right.
You see, it's the same thing with women. All right, but this is Nehemiah 13:26. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? But we know that this was dealing with a foreign woman, but it was still a woman. All right. It say, verse 26, did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him. So he was the greatest, you see? It say, who was beloved of his power. So the Most High loved him. All right, it say, and the Most High made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlast women. Outlast basically means like foreign women, alien women. All right, it say, outlast women caused to sin. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our power in marrying strange wives? But you can take the strange out and just use wives.
Right.
You see? Shall we go against our power and follow after women, man? Because when you read in Proverbs 7, all right, what I can get that real quick.
Yeah. Camera about to run out.
All right, this is Proverbs 7 and verse 24. It say, hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth.
Right.
Let not thine heart decline to her ways. All right, we know it's speaking about Babylon, America, but you can use this in a sense of women too.
Right.
You see, it say, let not thine heart decline into her ways. Go not astray in her paths. Don't go astray from what we have with the Lord.
It says astray on what?
And go not astray into her paths.
Paps is?
No, yeah, paths. I mean
paths. So I thought you said paps.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 26, it say, for she hath cast down many wounded. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. You see?
Slain. I ain't personally kill them, but man, go ahead.
It say, verse 27, the last verse, it say, her house is the way to hell.
Wow.
Going down to the
her house,
death.
her box.
Yes.
And those emotions and everything that comes with that is the way to your destruction. Man, let's grab that First Kings, that camera like it's right there.
This is 1 Kings 11:1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Sidonians, and Hittites. It say, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come into you.
Right.
For surely they will turn away your hearts after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love.
Right.
It say, verse 3, and he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart.
So that's what happened. You look at women of other nations. When you get to putting emotional ties into these women, bro, they'll have you believing in their power. You know what I'm saying? They'll have you doing things that have you going off. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened to King Solomon. Go ahead.
It say, verse 4, for it came to pass when Solomon was old, that his wife turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his power, as was the heart of David his father.
Right.
For Solomon went after Ashtaroth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites.
Ammonites.
Hold on.
Ammonites.
All right, Ammonites.
That's it.
All right. It say, and Solomon.
That's it.
Oh, that was it.
So the thing is, now we have the strongest man physically, and we know Solomon was Yahweh Shai, but in this sense, the smartest besides Yahweh Shai. Well, it was Yahweh Shai. The thing is, the strongest physically and the smartest fell by what? The hands of women. So everything is a pawn, but your number one pawn is going to be, more than likely, that woman. You know how many men have failed to women? You think about that. Think about, let's say, somebody you know in the world right now, and you know that their women just totally run their life. Man, I'm telling you, bro, we know lots that just totally run their whole life. You ain't doing shit. I'm going to the club, you staying your ass home. Things of that nature. Okay?
Because when you love something, you basically become somewhat of a slave to it.
Right.
You know, look like in the world, like when we was back in the world, your desire or your craft or whatever your profession was, you loved it.
Right.
You know, you want to be the best of it, so it basically had control over you. You know, likewise with us today as being prisoners of hope. You know, we're having our basically being totally controlled by Yahweh Shai.
Right.
You know.
Got 3.
Yeah, just one minute. This is Proverbs 29 and verse 3. It says, whoso loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father, but he that keepeth company with harlots spendeth his substance. You know, and you're gonna end up
spending all your money.
That's right. And you're gonna ultimately lose out on your chariot seat, man, behind these women. You know, if that totally has control over you.
That's crazy. Anything else? All right, with that, hope this is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kadash. Double honors to the Apostle Nelson Great Millstone, and rule and teach well. Peace and blessing to you. I can push this truth throughout the 4 winds. Till next time, Shalom.
Shalom.